slide through and get your back roll. Used to be involved with me with no emotion. I was on the way to the next show. You was on the phone and you was so open. Heard you said you're over me, is that so? You don't ever felt a girl and that's so okay. Could've held on but you let it go, saying to yourself that it's better this way. Funny thing is that you're going to need me, and I know you should slide through and get your back broke. Funny thing is that you're going to need me, and I know you should slide through and get your back broke. Feelings I've been stacking like a bankroll. I should probably find a way to let it go. Wonder what it was that turned you this cold. Said you left me jaded and I wasn't joking. It's the way it was a couple years ago. Back when you was younger, now you're outgrown. It's hard to just accept I was a stepping stone. Way that people talk about you should've known. You're going to need me, and I know you should slide through and get your back broke. Funny thing is that you're going to need me, and I know you should slide through and get your back broke. Till it's R.I.P. Niggas turned it back on me for no good reason. Loyalty is priceless and it's all I need. Can't burn a bridge just to light my way. Lot of 42 on the flights I'm taking. Pouring out my soul and it might sound crazy. Lot of falling outs help me build foundation. Never had a lot, this is all I need. People never care till it's R.I.P. Niggas turn their back on me for no good reason. Never had a lot, this is all I need. Lost individuals is all I see. Grab a top spot like part of my reach. Woke up one day and it was all on me. If it comes down, it's gon' fall on me. Lot of 42 on the flights I'm taking. Long way down from the heights I'm chasing. Just touched down, I was lights out in Vegas. Girls checking in cause my lifestyle dangerous. Hard to tell people that I'm all out of favors. Call me for songs or they call me for paper. Turning off my phone for the night now, baby. Pouring out my soul and it might sound crazy. Some of my niggas don't love me. We should sit down before shit turns ugly. We should sit down since you said things about me. Never had a lot, this is all I need. People never care till it's R.I.P. Niggas turn their back on me for no good reason. Loyalty is priceless and it's all I need. Can't burn a bridge just to light my way. Lot of 42 on the flights I'm taking. Pouring out my soul and it might sound crazy. Lot of falling outs help me build foundation. Never had a lot, this is all I need. People never care till it's R.I.P. Niggas turn their back on me for no good reason. Slide through and get your back roll. Used to be involved with me with no emotion. I was on the way to the next show. You was on the phone and you was so open. Heard you said you're over me, is that so? You don't ever felt a girl and that's so okay. Could've held on but you let it go, saying to yourself that it's better this way. Funny thing is that you're going to need me, and I know slide through and get your back broke. Funny thing is that you're going to need me, and I know you should slide through and get your back broke. Feelings I've been stacking like a bankroll. I should probably find a way to let it go. Wonder what it was that turned you this jaded and I wasn't joking. It's the way it was a couple years ago. Back when you was younger, now you're outgrown. Made it hard to just accept I was a stepping stone. Way that people talk about you should've known. You're going to need me, and I know you should slide through and get your back, bro. Funny thing is that you're going to need me, and I know you should slide through and get your back, bro. Never had a lot, this is all I need. People never care till it's all I be. Niggas turned it back on me for no good reason. Loyalty is priceless and it's all I need. Can't burn a bridge just to light my way. Lot of 42 on the flights I'm taking. Pouring out my soul and it might sound crazy. Lot of falling outs help me build foundation. Never had a lot, this is all I need. People never care till it's all I be. Niggas turn their back on me for no good reason. Never had a lot, this is all I need. Lost individuals is all I see. Grab the top spotlight, part my reach. Woke up one day and it was all on me. If it comes down, it's gonna fall on me. Lot of 42 on the flights I'm taking. Long way down from the heights I'm chasing. Just touched down, I was lights out in Vegas. Girls checking in cause my lifestyle dangerous. Hard to tell people that I'm all out of favors. Call me for songs or they call me for paper. Turning off my phone for the night now, baby. Pouring out my soul and it might sound crazy. Some of my niggas don't love me. We should sit down before shit turns ugly. We should sit down since you said things about me. Never had a lot, this is all I need. People never care.
Okay, so they could hear me. I think they could hear you guys. Okay. Let's now. Okay. One moment. Let's see. This audio output. Yes. Okay, good vibe. Okay. Oh, good night, everyone. Good night. I think you guys could hear me clearly.
Yeah.
Alright. Welcome to the 12th episode 12, season 2, 12th installment of the Border Experience podcast. It feels very, 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 very strange starting early. So, as you can see, we have somewhat of a new setup. We were supposed to have a guest on tonight, but she won't be with us. So we're going with Zoom. I decided to try Zoom because eventually we would be having episodes, with Zoom on and so on. So I decided to just, do the setup and get off with it. Anyway, I have two guests. Well, not really guests, and I don't think they need introduction either because they've been on the pod before. So we'll just get into how our weeks have been, and then we'll get into what we're going to be discussing tonight. That's cool. That's cool with everyone. Alright, good vibe. Alright, Dor, you have to tell us about your week.
My week was just up and down. Work, funeral, and a lot of early mornings. But
Mm-hmm.
Praise God for the weekend.
Alright.
We need, yeah, man.
Okay. How about you? I think you have the water sashi. If I'm mistaken, the full name isn't showing.
Asashi.
I don't know, dog. Hanzo Sashi. I don't know if you know him, but
Um, nah, it's the water Hashira.
oh,
Um, my week was fine. It was fine. It was an interesting week at work, but overall, it wasn't too bad.
interesting. Also interesting about this week.
Um, the fact that well, we shifted from rotation, so now
Ah,
in
damn.
so yeah, I work every day now.
That's tough, though. That's actually tough. Alright.
Yeah,
Um.
it's not too much.
Okay.
So yeah,
Alright.
I'm managing.
Alright. Good vibe. Good vibe. Kim, how was the week, man?
Yo, so honestly, it's been pretty chill. Wanted some really big moves for the next days to come. So I'm really hyped about that. Uh, yeah, man. Honestly, not much else to say, but pretty blessed to be in my position right now. So
Alright. Love to hear it. Love to hear it. Alright, bro. For me, my week was, uh, you know, it was meh as usual. Nothing too crazy. Nothing too interesting. Forward to a Saturday night because I get to pod. Um, so, let's get into the topic at hand. I think what we're discussing, not I think, we're discussing, we're discussing marriage tonight. Um, Heavy topic, in my opinion. Um, so, damn, bro. That's so heavy. I don't know what question to ask first. Okay, let's start with long distance relationship, like a long distance marriage. Like, would y'all go for that? Like, would y'all go for that, or that's a no in your book? Give me a reason why as well. Who wants to go first? Don, you want to go first?
Um, I mean, in my current situation, I would say no, because I feel like it depends on the people. Some people are good with the long distance. Some people don't really um, handle it well, like on both partners. Like to me, if you're going to make long distance work, you have to put in the communication and stuff like that.
Right.
And if both parties not willing to, push to make that work, especially the trust issue again. You don't know who the people or the person is going to meet where they are. What kind of temptations lie there? Yeah.
But that's your wife, dude. Okay, you go trust your.
Yeah, well, I mean, well, that's why I say it depends on
It
the person
depends.
too.
Okay,
But
okay.
there are people that are married. Yeah, like there are people that are married and they cannot really trust their wife with finances because their wife will just blast all their money. So, I mean,
Okay.
depends on your circumstance.
Okay.
But it's not the ideal for me. I've seen a lot of relationships go down because of these kind of things.
Really?
Yeah.
No, not like a relationship, or like have you seen like marriages like
Yeah, well, marriages in fact go down
Jeez.
because of like long distance and things that getting complicated, and
Ah, okay.
especially like maybe you all do have the bond, you probably create bonds with other people.
Mm-hmm.
Um, you not putting enough effort into making it work, blah blah blah.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, so it's not like you could. I'm not just make a blanket statement and say like don't do it because like there are people that made it work, but
Mm.
I don't think it's something I would want to deal with.
Okay. I get what you're saying.
Mm.
What about you? How about you? Um, I keep saying I want to say her Sashi, bro. Not my fault. What about you, Hashira? Yeah. Alright. Um, Ken, what about you?
Yeah, so as for me personally, I feel like long distance initially, like if you meet someone initially via long distance, it's not going to work. My personal view on long distance is if the only way it can work is if the woman has genuine burning desire for the man and is willing to make it work. You understand what I'm saying? So it's like one of those things where if she isn't, like on her toes, ready and waiting to fly over to him or get over to him or ready to have him come over to her, etc., then it can work. But if it's one of those things where it's like, you just communicate like because you have no other choice but to, and it's like you don't want to let go of each other,
Right.
then it's like it's slowly just gonna die out, in my opinion.
Like even with like a marriage though, like
No, no, with a marriage, let's
okay.
say, okay, in a marriage situation,
Mm,
given that that man or that person he knows what he's doing,
mm,
the fact that you have sexual intimacy and all the emotions that come into play with having that level of intimacy,
mm,
again, once that woman has burning desire, then you know it can definitely work, but only on the grounds that there is a desire.
mm, mm. So there has to be like, so you have to be like head over heels basically to be able to. Okay. I don't know though.
Well, I mean, not
Mm,
not necessarily head over heels,
uh,
but just the fact that she knows her man's or that individual's value, because you know how men, and you know how the game is, G, like as long as she know it's in her benefit to keep in communication with that person than not to, and she makes the active effort to keep the level of communication at a healthy rate,
okay, 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 okay.
then yeah. But if it's one of those things where niggas just have to like message and she just responds,
Yeah, yeah.
then that's like slowly hanging yourself.
Mm, okay. I see. I see. I guess, and it also would come into play like how long and what they're what they're doing up there, because I know some people do it for schooling, some people for work. Personally, if it's a work thing, then I I wouldn't be able to. I wouldn't be able to handle that doggy if it's a work
But
thing.
like being separated from your wife for work.
Yeah, for work. If it's a school thing, then yeah, because you have semester breaks. You have you have certain, well, yeah, basically semester breaks, other breaks. So you would find they'll actually come down, for this at the end of a semester, and you actually know when the degree will be ending, because every degree has a time period. So you actually know. With work, it's a bit more. I don't know. It's a bit trickier. It's a bit trickier. You'd have to take like your full vacation basically to visit, and you know that's not enough. in my opinion.
Yeah.
You know, so I don't know. It personally for me, it wouldn't. I'm okay with schooling, but the work thing, it ain't gonna sit right with me. So
Yeah. I mean, on when it comes to work or school or etc. Like, as for me, I don't know if it's because of the kind of lifestyle that I want to live, the things that I want to do. But like, you see, work, business, honestly, bro, what I can say is, or what I can see in a lot of relationships, the moment you put your wife over your own well-being or your business or making your money, bro, it's like a ticking time bomb. Because think about it, right? When it comes to, keeping a woman, let's look at it in a worldly sense.
okay.
The fact that that woman knows you have access to other women, etc., and you hear a lot of women saying like they can't be in a relationship with their boyfriend anymore because he's boring, he's not exciting. It's like he's always there for me, this, that, and the other. It's like, that's the worldly way of getting around it, is like showing your woman that, off and on, you can leave at any moment. You can get any woman you want. Keep her on her toes. Once you keep her on her toes and emotionally, attached, then, once you can keep that game going, you can keep her as long as you want to.
Okay.
But with, if you want to take the more religious approach and biblical approach and etc., it's like, we can't dispute the fact that female nature, a woman is a woman before she's a religious woman.
Okay.
You understand? So in as much as that level of toxicity to keep a woman would not necessarily suffice in a Christian or biblical relationship, but more like the fact that you're willing to step away from her to do what you need to do in line with your passion. It shows a certain level of confidence, that a certain level of healthy confidence in the relationship. And then that woman would you find that woman would even respect you even more, because it's first you get the money, then you get the power, and then you get some more money. Bro, trust me. Trust me.
Jeez. Okay. I see where you're coming from. You know what's crazy to me, as you mentioned that, you will always have some of these women who say, I'm not with him for the money. But then, it's almost like I just see like money is just like, I feel like something like a fuel. So basically, when the fuel runs out, it's kind of, you don't have security, you're not stable. So when women say that, it's just like, you lying, But I think I get what they're trying to say. They try to say like they're not in a, they wouldn't be in a relationship solely for the money. I think that's what they're trying to say.
Bro, think about this, right? Like, why would a woman consciously or subconsciously choose to be with a man that cannot provide for her?
Yeah.
Like, it's just part of their nature. Some use that nature in them to exploit men, but some, whether they admit it or not, having someone who can financially take care of them, it like gives them that certain level of comfortability to be able to express themselves or be, more comfortable in that situation because they know they can be taken care of, But then it's not just money that keeps a woman. As you can see with Jeff Bezos and all them fellas. It's that man that create Windows. Them man is beta males, dog. You understand? That man have money. No amount of money can make up for a lack of sex. You understand?
That's true.
You check it. So there's a balance that needs to be had, like a mental, physical, emotional, wealth. All of these things have to come into play. You know what I mean? And as for me personally, when it comes to business, making moves in finance, if I'm doing business with a guy, right, and we're about to close on a multi-million-dollar deal. The last thing I want, or I would want, is for my guy to tell me, oh, he cannot make it because his wife tell him not to. He wants to stay home and keep her happy. Like, bro, at that point, can you imagine, G? Like, you're trying to make some money
Yeah, you
with
should
your
make
partners,
money.
and then your partner telling you, my wife says I have to be home by 10. Like, bro, G, like, you understand what I'm saying?
That's what you said. I know a couple of fellas say.
So, bro, like that whole thing about, not being okay with separating for business or
Right.
is that or the other. Dog,
Yeah.
we need to have more of an abundance mindset.
Yeah.
If you're a woman, we understand the game. Fellas like us, like I don't know for you, but my heart literally can't be broken again because I know what women are capable of, right? But the thing is, you have to also build yourself so you know what you are also capable of.
Right.
So if you're going on a business trip, closing on multi-million-dollar deals, networking with niggas in Dubai, them oil investors and thing,
Yeah.
right? I'm sure they give you a problem and you want to leave. Just open the door for her and let
Yeah,
the couple
because-
back in. You check what I'm saying, you? You understand? It's a respect thing.
Okay.
You know?
Right.
So as for me, some fellas these days, it's like they want to have multiple shorties or whatever. Me, I'm marriage minded, right? I want to be married. I want to have kids, have a family, etc. But I know the position I will be at in my life, like just me being in that position is enough to keep my wife on her toes. You understand?
Okay,
So
okay,
it's
okay,
like if
okay.
I'm out doing business or if I'm out doing stuff,
Right.
like, and she decides she wants to cheat on me, G, I wouldn't even need to cry. I wouldn't need to cry. I would need to fuss. I would need to sulk. And, I would let her out. You understand? I signed in the
That's it,
papers
okay.
before. You check what I saying? And then time you check, I'm with her best friend. You understand? And they have a thing, a way to escape, a
Right.
shorty taking half of your stuff too. I want to share that information with you all too.
That's what.
So,
that's
you know,
with that's with the well, not with not the
whole
prenup.
prenup thing. Yeah, the whole prenup
Okay,
thing.
okay,
How
okay.
to save your assets without signing a prenup. Gee, so you know how there's like something called citizenship by investment, right? In St. Lucia, you pay like 100K and you can get a St. Lucian passport and thing. Them fellas that is we doing that.
Right.
So there's a list of countries that you can apply for CBI, and once you get these passports and etc., you can actually travel to the different countries that you're allowed to travel to. Go to the bank, you ask them, what is it you need to do to open an account, etc., etc. Once you get that account open, G, you get your passport, you get your driver's license in that country, etc. You may not be able to wire like big amounts of money, but I was doing some heavy research on it. I was talking to some guy from Romania a couple of times this week. The same guy I was talking to you about Cobra,
Oh yeah,
Andrew
yeah.
Tate.
Yeah.
So he was explaining to me like the whole process. Once you get your driver's license, your passport, and everything from
Forms
the
of
country,
ID. Yeah.
yeah, you buy some Bitcoin. You buy Bitcoin, the amount you want to transfer to your bank account. From time it's over the limit, from your Bitcoin wallet, you just transfer it to your other account offshore. And what you do in that country, you also change your name. So in another country, you have a different name but a legal passport. And once you have that, if you marry in a certain country, by law, they literally cannot have access to any of your assets in any other
Interesting.
country except the one you live in.
Interesting. That's interesting.
So you can actually protect your shit without signing prenups.
So
and shit.
so wait, you changing your name in that country?
Yeah, so like let's say I'm in
okay,
Lucia,
okay.
right?
Yeah.
I'm in Lucia. I go to, I decide I want to go to Turkey, or I want to go to, a different country.
Okay.
I go there, get my passport, get my license. Once I have my bank accounts, or before I have my bank accounts and everything set up, change my name legally in that country. So I have a passport with my real name, but once I touch ground, I'm legally, known as someone else. Right? So those records are not in my initial name.
Right.
So let's say I get married in St. Lucia or I get married in the US.
Right.
A divorce attorney literally by law cannot have access to all of these offshore accounts and all of these offshore assets and funds and etc. So it's like, a lot of people say, these rich guys getting divorced and taking their stuff and
Yeah.
etc. But gee, some of them niggas are crying because they know they have a couple
They have-
mil
yeah,
in a
the
bank in
offshores.
Turkey somewhere. You check it? Yeah, gee,
That's a
some
smart
deep
move,
stuff.
That's a smart move, though.
Some
What?
deep stuff.
See?
Yeah, bro. Let me tell you something. If you see
yeah.
if you hang around me, so,
You see, you share some life changing strats there, though. You have to put it in the highlights. For
I'm
sure.
telling you, Jay.
For sure.
telling
Irie, okay. Okay, so I see, according to the topic list, we also have, is marriage really that scary? I think that's one of the ones you'd have wanted to expound on.
Yeah.
Don, your mic is okay?
Yeah, I'm good.
Okay. Oh, but you heard these strats, of course.
Yeah. Yeah, man. I mean, well, the thing about some of these things is like, and I guess it kind of delving into the next topic too again.
Yeah,
It's
go
like
ahead.
you have to check like who you're dealing with too again. Because
true.
I mean, if you're business minded, you want to get with somebody that know of the not necessarily of the same mindset with you, but they don't have a problem with you doing certain things. So
True.
when
That's
you're
true.
rich in this kind of situations, they'll not be like, well, why are you staying with me all the time? Blah blah blah. They know the hustle already.
Okay.
They know
man.
how you're going to grind, what kind of mindset you're on, so it'll not come as a surprise. Because the thing like I noticed about like marriage is like, I mean, you can, like, in this world you can never be fully prepared for every single thing. That's impossible. But it's something, before you get into it, you want to be as prepared as you possibly can
Right.
for that period of time. Obviously, you'll not be able to be pushing things back forever, because that's just overkill on certain things. But like, you want to like, because like, well, for my particular mindset is like, when you're getting into some kind of thing like that, I have no things thinking in my mind of like that there's a way out of that, or it will fail. Obviously, life can happen. You know,
Okay.
you're not being oblivious and saying, boy, that can never happen to me, or not like that. But like, went into the mindset of like, that's like something for forever. So if that's something for forever, obviously that's like one, I look at marriage as like some of like one of the most important things you do in your life, in terms of like making children. Because like that means you're basically responsible for another life.
True.
Marriage is like, you're responsible for the person's life, because the person's life basically in your hands, in terms of like getting sick or whatever. Stuff like, and yeah, like other stuff as well. So yeah, basically you want to be as prepared as possible. So you're going to have conversations about, okay, what are your expectations? What would happen if like I do something like that? Like, how would you react to that? Or different conversations like that. And that's why I believe like getting a proper counselor that know what he's doing before you'll get married is good as well. Because like, there are some guys that just doing that, just because they say that it's good to do. They're just doing a fast thing. But if you get somebody that like know and experience in what they're doing, well, you all can ask they can ask you all like different questions, and your mind starting to think, okay, is this person really somebody I can spend the rest of my life with. And like you're going to come across something, obviously a person will not agree with you on everything. So you have to be able to compromise. You have to be able to see, is this point okay? I want to do that, but is that a deal breaker enough for me to just move on and not continue? It kind of sounding strange using that analogy as an investment because but it's like basically an investment because like
It is.
it's like a long-term investment. So and like business, you have risks and whatnot in it as well. Everything have risk in it.
Yeah.
And that's a long-term investment for you or for both of y'all. So you like just like a long-term investment for business. You don't want to get yourself involved in some kind of thing that you'll be regretting for the rest of your life.
True.
You have to try and take as much precaution as possible. You all try and get on the same page and see if because a key thing is communication as well. Like communication, if you don't have proper communication, that can cause so much problems. And miscommunication, like you telling the person that and they thinking they had something else, or they have you telling them something, they don't tell you nothing, but like in their head, like they thinking, maybe I could do that or whatever, or they just keeping things to themselves, and all the time they feeling like you hurting them and you know nothing about that, or people just expect you to read their minds or whatnot.
Right.
So it's like they have a lot of these kind of things involved in that, and like obviously a lot more complicated things as well, but you want to get as much as this stuff out of the way, like especially like, okay, how are you going to raise your children?
That's a
Some
good one.
people might think,
What school they going to and stuff like that.
What school they going to? Maybe a simple thing like, is a child allowed to leave their door closed or room locked? Like if you have a girl, are boys allowed to come in a room? Like all these kind of things, like
Jeez, man.
it could have like, and that's to show you like you come into a marriage and most likely you haven't thought of all of these things. Maybe you think of like the typical things they keep asking, whatever, but then you start to realize maybe like you're not on the same page on certain things. Now what you're going to do if you don't have like the proper foundation with the person already, bam, a simple thing can cause your marriage. Like other people are like confess like their marriage get messed up for some simple things, and then when they actually check it, they can't even remember what the original argument was about. So the foundation is a strong thing as well. So you have to have all these kind of things going together, and obviously, well, for somebody like me, your faith is like a big part too again, because like I'm just seeing so many examples of people that have different faith beliefs,
right?
And that causes a lot of drama,
Yeah.
A lot of drama in the house. And like up to a day like today, like they get like the people like, so some of the examples I'm talking about, like some of these people like they all, and up to now, like you just see like how it affected the children, how it affects the relationship, how it making certain things awkward when you have certain people or your faith there, and then the person just giving you trouble, and like or maybe just rubbing things in your face all the time. Is like it's a situation you want to try just to avoid at all costs, because that can be like another thing that you'll be facing for the entirety of your life. So yeah, there are a lot of these kind of things where that's why I say like it's something you have to take serious. You have to have a good foundation with a person, open communication, all these things for y'all to try and make it work. Because I mean, you want somebody like you can grow with, like, because like a lot of, well, I probably that's even another topic, but a lot of people these days looking for a partner that have everything already, and then like to just bring them up. But people don't want to do the hard work of growing together and then building
And
an
then
empire
building.
together.
Yeah.
Yeah, especially women. Not to say that women, but
Yeah.
you're always hearing something about sugar daddy and all kind of thing and not. What happened to let's go the two of us build something together instead of I go look for a friend that have money so I can just live easy. So yeah, I guess it depends on the different types of people but yeah, that's how I.
Don't forget, man. Go ahead.
Yeah. I just wanted to say quick, like, with the rise of social media, women have much more access to options. And what happens when you have options? You get picky. So social media has been the rise of humanity as well as the downfall of humanity. So as for me, the way I see it is like, I have no problem if someone wants to move in with me, be a part of my life, be a part of my program. You check it?
Yeah.
I don't have to compromise what I doing to be with you. If you see I doing well for myself and I doing things and I have my crib, I have my stuff in order. You understand? I have no problem if someone wants to be with me when I'm at that point already.
Right.
But the thing is, you know the game already doing. Some of these females, when they have the attitudes they have towards men, it's like as if the women are the prize, like you are the prize.
Yeah, like
like you see me, I'm my crib already. I'm right, everything already, making millions of dollars. You come in a part of my life and you want to treat me as if you are the prize. You want me to do this, do that for you, and it's like you have to be combative. And if I'm making the money, taking care of you, etc., if I tell you, baby, I'm a bit hungry, can you do something for me while I close on this deal? What's the problem with that? You understand?
Exactly.
And then you check what I'm saying. So it's like not that the issue is not necessarily women wanting to have men that have it already. Is the women that want men that have it already, they need to be as women who are part of his program and be ready and willing to do what needs to be done to complement his life. You understand? Because it's not a two-way thing. You can't have two kings in a household.
Yeah, that's
the masculine energy. You understand? When two kingdoms come together, one of the kings have to step down. When that country is overthrown, only one head is left. You understand?
check what is it.
So, yeah, that kind of energy, I had to shift. You understand? I'm a boss. I'm a working woman, independent woman. Okay, take yourself somewhere else. There are plenty of women in the East. Let me tell you, Dave, another thing. If you are, if you want a woman who will love you, if you want a woman who will take care of you, if you want a woman who will not cheat on you, if you want a woman who will respect you, go to the East. Western women is like the broken families, the single moms. It's like good women don't come pre-assembled anymore. They come broken. And it's like you have to teach them how to be good women. But you see places like Thailand and Arabia and the UAE and India and these places, they hold a high regard for marriage, for relationships.
That is true.
Understand?
That is true.
You would quicker find an Indian woman prepare some drinks and some food for her husband, for her guy when he have guys over. You would quicker see her make something for him to eat if he's busy. You understand? The level of respect, the level of understanding. Now I'm not saying she's in a position to not voice her opinions or etc.
Yeah.
But a woman who is a man's peace, you understand? Coming home from a long day of work, you have to coerce a business owner to buy your product,
Yeah.
to buy your service, and you come home with stress. The last thing a man would want is, baby, so what happened? You didn't do the dishes last night. You didn't do this. But I sweep already. This week is your turn to sweep. Like, this is not a negotiation, baby girl. You understand? If I'm taking care of you, I'm doing the things I want to do, making sure you can flourish and be in your feminine nature. I need you to be my peace. You understand? You would more find a woman in the west of the world that would be happy to do something like that for a man that loves her, takes care of her, and she's comfortable with. I don't say at this point I might have to take a trip to Thailand and meet some country girl or something somewhere. You understand?
I check what you're saying, bro.
Yeah, because the
Okay.
West, we have some work cut out for us to do if you have to. It's a good.
So I have a question. That's in regards to the is marriage so scary, etc., etc. So like, what if I'm a man, I watching the board experience, I see some fellas talking about marriages, and I say like, so why I have to go through all that though? I just want to be for shorty and just we'll just be together. Why I have to marry her? Why I have to? How that going to benefit me in any way, doggy? So what would you say? Like what would you say to that person who just look into the? Let me not say not look into marriage. They just see marriage as like that is just a tie-up scene. We together already. Why we have to go through that whole ceremony? Why we have to? Why does it have to be? Because remember you have paperwork to sign, and it's a whole it's a process. So so what would you say to that kind of person?
Well, as for me, given that I am religious, I try my best not to only speak at a religious point of view. So I will say this. Marriage in and of itself is more like a religious tradition. We know how it is, in the church. Things like, premarital sex and all of these things are, as Christians, things we should not be partaking in and, things like that. So for someone like me or for someone who has, a religious affiliation, it's a point in that person's life where he needs to start preparing himself if he feels like he cannot live his life without a woman and the hormones too much to handle. I think there's I can't remember the chapter, but in Songs of Solomon it was saying basically in summary, if as a man you have absolutely no problem living without a woman and following your purpose and on the mission of Christ for the rest of your life, then that would be a much better option. But if you feel like you cannot, it's much better to marry than to lose your soul. That's what Solomon said. So for religious individuals, if you're at that point in your life where you crave, partnership of the opposite sex, and you want to go to heaven, then marriage is something you should look into. But not everyone is religious. Not everyone has that view or standpoint. So based on that, I feel like marriage, if you're not prepared mentally, emotionally, financially, then I feel like that's something you should probably not go too head over heels over. All I can say is focus on your purpose, and when you get to that point, the right things will come to you.
Okay. What about you, the water Hashira, if you're still there?
I guess listen, different people have different they have different intentions, they have different plans. Personally, even if I want to get married, I find it ridiculous to try to force your opinion on somebody else. If somebody doesn't feel like they want to get married, there's no reason for me to force them to, or no reason for me to chastise them because they have a different opinion. Um, and generally, Ken was talking about the church, but I find generally that is where a lot of churches or a lot of church members go wrong. They try to force or impose marriage on people who don't want to be married. Um, if somebody wants to be with, the woman and they don't want to be married, my question is why not? Because if you see her as a long-term part of your life and you're making the commitment to each other to be not just committed, but to be there for each other, well, like Kim was saying, despite your options, because if you're on the grind, you're going to have options, bro. All right. So if you're making a committed effort or concerted effort to be there for that one girl, like why not get married? I'd have to know the reason first, because you want to essentially you keeping your options open.
Yeah.
That's what it looks like.
Okay.
Like if I ever get tired of that girl, I can just leave her.
Yeah.
Kind of thing. Like they have no divorce, they have no prenup to sign, they have no name, they have no name changing in Turkey. When I ready to go, I just go in.
Yeah.
That's what it looks like to me, and it's like Trevor was saying. I feel like that also can facilitate distress. I mean, it might do more harm than good, in my opinion.
Okay. I like that. I like that response. What about you? What about you, Slasher or Don? If you're still there. Okay. Don probably on it. Don probably AFK, but
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Go ahead.
What question did we shift to?
Basically, I was just asking, like, what's like the benefit of getting married? What if like, like as a guy, because most guys, what they want to do is they just want to be with the girl. You check it, they want to get married. That's a whole process. You have people to sign. You have a wedding to plan, and that's like, that's like a couple. There's a bag there, to get a wedding planner, all that kind of stuff. So why not just just go out with the shorty, make a couple children, and just live life? Like, what's the point of getting married, basically?
Yeah. So, looking at it from like my standpoint, obviously, from a religious standpoint, faith-based standpoint, if you're looking to get with somebody long term and whatnot, see you building a family with them, then yeah, that's the route to go. If you have to look at it from like a general standpoint, if a person, because a lot of people, don't believe in anything much these days. So, I mean, like, it could be like different things for different people, because I mean, a lot of people, a lot of women, they have that, these thoughts in their mind. Okay, I'm going to meet somebody, and then we're going to eventually make a family together, get married. They have their dream wedding in mind. You kind of, well, not all of them like that, but a lot of them are like that. And you kind of robbing the person of their dream. So if okay, we all had these conversations before and blah, 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 the person's mindset. Why waste the person's time if you're not really on that? You keep giving them some low-hanging fruit. You maybe make a few promises. You maybe even get them the engagement ring just to keep them there. And then at the end of the day, really on that marriage thing. I mean,
Yeah.
it could be just like a mindset for certain people, like
Right. Right.
based on like their culture or the area. They like some men have in their mind that once you get married, that's when problems start happening and whatnot. Some people feel like it's like they don't want the woman taking their money, or they just don't want to bother with these kind of things.
Mm.
So to me, if you on that, like, it's, to me, I'm looking at it like it's kind of robbing the person. You know you're not on that kind of vibe, don't waste the person time.
Right.
Like, cause like the thing is, when you're young, it's usually easier, especially for the women, to get somebody. Like, you have endless suitors, people interested, whatnot.
Mm.
But then when you start hitting like, maybe late 30s, 40s,
The danger
50s,
zone.
it's like it's not like your value going down, but like you competing with women that younger than you. So like it's kind of becoming more tough for you as a woman. So if you with somebody like 5 years, 7 years, 10 years already, you invest in that person already, and all of a sudden the person never marry you, and you kind of missing out that experience that you always wanted in your life. You basically just waste the person time there. You kill a person chances of maybe finding somebody that should have
True.
actually suited them. So I feel like, to me, if you're not interested in that, just be upfront with the person and tell them that. And some women will still stay and try and convince you or not, but at least you're upfront with them.
Yeah.
So they gonna tell you like, oh, um,
You wasted the
why?
time.
Yeah, I waste your time.
Yeah.
Like you told them not already. If they want to say, that's their problem, but at least you were upfront. So yeah, I don't believe in like, if the person agree with like, I'm not on that marriage thing and whatnot, then, and both of you all on that same height thing, yeah. But like, go string the person along for a ride, making them feel like they have a pot of gold at the end of the rainbow, and then when they reach there, some rock they see in there.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's my whole
Ah.
thing on it.
Okay. So let me speak to something else. What about? I think we were talking about that this week. They're done. Outside relationships. So, like, once you married and thing, like, there are certain there are certain
Oh.
there are certain relationships you have with your friends. I think Kim and I, we spoke a little bit on that. I can't remember when, but I remember us addressing it. So, I think it was either this week or last week. The question came up, if you're in a marriage and stuff, and your girl, she want to go on a date with one of her friends she hasn't seen in a while. Like, what would you guys say? How do I phrase the question? How do you deal with that situation? Before you go ahead, I want to hear what Ashira has to say. How do you deal with that, Ashira? If you're there.
Why are you targeting me though?
I'm just curious. I'm curious.
Yeah, stop being curious. It depends, I suppose. So,
Okay.
alright, for example, I should say for example. Okay, so a relationship is built on trust, fundamentally. If you don't have trust, there's almost no point. Alright? So you will tend to look at everything closely. You'll tend to second guess whatever the person's You'll tend to second guess what the person is doing and whatnot. So if she says, "Oh, she going on a date," quote unquote. First of all, that is a terrible way to phrase it. I mean, a date already has some kind of connotation to it. If you're calling it a date, you're already making it sound like the person intends to cheat. But
Wow.
I'll just, I'll say that's just a matter of semantics. Um, so yeah, it's based on trust. If you trust your person enough to go out with some friend, I
Nah,
if it's
nah.
one,
If it's
oh,
one.
relax.
Okay,
Relax. If it's
okay.
one friend in particular, I mean, I'd need a good reason, but at the end of the day, it still boils down to trust. Because somebody, let's say, for example, I gave you that example before. She, shorty at work, right? She goes and get lunch with her coworker.
Yeah.
Some people might consider that a date, but as a boyfriend or a husband, you telling me you go get intimidated by that, like it sounding kind of weird, especially yeah. If you first of all have nothing to do with it, I mean you have no reason to interrupt the people lunch just because you're so insecure. You feel like your shorty can't be around other fellas without holding. So check it. Why you dating a shorty that everybody shooting a shot with, bro? Like if everybody sliding in her DMs and they successful, why you dating the shorty? You have to have some kind of trust, and she have to have some kind of respect for you and the relationship that she's in. And if you trust that respect that she has, then I'd see no reason why she can't go out with a friend and keep it strictly on a friend thing. No, strictly friend. I, as a matter of fact,
Hey,
bro,
Okay,
shit,
okay.
I given that shorty check it. As a matter of fact, you should be working. I tell that shorty make her know I'm gonna buy nothing for you. I'm gonna reject it. I'm gonna paying for nothing. I make them feel like, cause one thing, the fellas are a lot of fellas are so entitled. Diamond buy you food, Diamond buy you drinks. At the end of the night, Diamond expecting something. So make sure you know, check it, know what you're about, exercise your respect. You check in me, not Diamond. And make Diamond, don't lead the man on.
Okay, man, let it go. Last done. Let me hear your thoughts.
Yeah, you see, but like to me, if like what I learn about a lot, like I look, I don't want to generalize women, okay, but if they feel like some of them they don't know how guys feel, and like some of them would be um naive in a sense, like, yo, that's my friend, mate, I go out, no intentions, and all kind of stuff like that. So when they're already moving with that mindset, they go see no problem with their quote unquote friend paying for drinks for them or paying something. So when you tell her, okay, make mate buying a thing for you, they will already start looking at you sideways, like, just so like my friend now, they why you buy things for me and whatnot. They go real, they go look at it in that kind of way. Like I was shocked, like to know like how certain, like they so oblivious of a lot of things. They not looking at things in the mindset of like how fellas will be thinking, because
Yeah.
naturally guys are the hunters, and women are those that like guys go after, so they do not have it in their mind that men like, because like a lot of they a lot of the times like women have friends that trying and get with them, but they're just not successful. They're looking for a little opening, and they're waiting and hoping that I hope mid relationship fail or whatnot, so they can get a little chance to jump in and whatnot. Now, I mean, like with everything in life, you have to have a balance.
Okay.
Like you said, you have to trust people and stuff like that. Now, trusting people, like there's a fine balance between being trusting and just being stupid. So it's like now you have to know the person, and you have to realize like no matter what you do, you cannot you just cannot prevent somebody from cheating if
That's
if yeah. So you can't really prevent it. You can try and avoid the situation, but people are their own persons. They're going to do what they're going to do, no matter what you tell them. If they want to reach in that now, and sometimes they don't even want to reach into that situation. So that's why I tell a lot of people, to avoid getting into that situation. Just avoid, putting yourself into certain situations. Yes, you feel like the person don't have no intentions, blah blah blah. But just don't put yourself in a situation where there might have a possibility of something happening. So though, like if you say you're going on a date, if you're maybe not a date, a lunch, you're going for lunch together. Don't go in no kind of private setting where both of you are together alone, nobody seeing what you're doing. That's already looking a kind of way. And like to me, I would even go as far as saying like, don't make certain things a habit. So again, okay, you're always doing that together, but sometimes you never know. Like the way a lot of relationships form, and I keep saying that, is because of like the bonds you make with people.
Right.
So sometimes you're at first you probably never had any interest in that person. And then you'll start talking like every day, and then your conversations going into some deep level things, and then you start realizing, misunderstanding me more than my boyfriend or my husband or whatever, and like you start like so while your husband is working out hard, maybe you're not conversing as often as you used to before, and you conversing more with them, and then all of a sudden you're not really seeing your husband working hard for you. You just seeing mate understanding me more than my husband.
Right.
And then so you're getting blindsided by a fact. Next thing, you and the person start getting comfortable with each other, blah blah blah, before you end up checking yourself. Sometimes something happen, you like, how I reach at that point? Because like a lot of these things is like the song saying, it's a slow fade. It's like these things it's just creeping up on you, and you haven't realizing that. So that's why I'm saying, like, to me, just like try and avoid situations. Sometimes, like like, okay, you don't have nothing with the person. Maybe the person don't have nothing with you, but like, okay, your partner might have an issue with that might bring problems in the relationship. Try and cool out on certain things to avoid just drama in the relationship, because when you're in a relationship, it's not just for yourself alone. You're in a relationship with the person. So, sometimes just to avoid certain conflicts, you just avoid going certain places or doing certain things. But let's say you now let me the same question I was asking you, doing about a similar topic to that. Let me just throw it out to
when you're through, Kim will go after you. I AFK in quickly. Okay, go ahead.
Yeah. Yeah. So, I mean, that, cause a lot of time, okay, I mean, certain things just looking at kind of like some people no problem with it, but like you seeing you at your home, the two of you, you and your wife or your girlfriend, the two of you are at your home there, you're chilling, and then you seeing your partner dressing up how nice and fancy to go to a dinner date with a friend, and sometimes you know maybe they might have had a vibe before y'all and things never spark and stuff like that. Don't tell me you ever feel a kind of way. See, yeah, they leaving you there at your home, dressing up how fancy to go on a dinner date with the two of them, and you will be like, I have no problem with that. So, well, I mean, it's different people, but at the end of the day, to me, you all should do things to protect each other from, just putting any kind of thoughts in a person's head. At the same time, you have to try and be, um, you could be obsessive with it, but like you could go overboard. You know that will affect the person. Try and cool out on them kind of thing. That's how I see it.
Yeah. As for me, it's like first off, a woman that has genuine burning desire and respect for her partner would not dare dress up and go out on a date or lunch with another man. If she's dressing herself up, nicing herself up, she's setting herself up in a position to be taken, right? So think of like, let's say a Lamborghini. There's nothing wrong with people taking pictures of your car and people, looking at your car and everything like that. But niggas want to have access to you. There's a difference between a lot of people wanting to view your vehicle or wanting to view what you have and people actively trying to get inside. Because in as much as the Lamborghini vehicle, the lock is one of the most safest locks on a vehicle. So no matter how many times you try to pick it, it will not work. Yet still, it's not anything to do with insecurity because the lock will not break. But men are territorial naturally, has nothing to do with insecurity. Yes, there are a lot of men who are not at a certain level in life where they fear that woman can be swept up by somebody else, and that is insecurity. But for someone at a certain level in his life and in his career, having his woman actively advertise herself to be taken is actually disrespectful, has nothing to do with insecurity. You understand? So it's like it's one of them situations where, and for example, in the Lion Kingdom, and with not all primates, but most primates, the leader, if a woman or if the female lion decides to sleep with anyone else, she's excommunicated or she's murdered. If a lion has a child, a cub from another lion, that cub will be brutally murdered. So it doesn't have anything to do with insecurity or nothing like that. It's a territorial thing for persons who are at that certain level in life, right? And so yeah, what I can say is like someone who is actively advertising herself to others, subconsciously speaking, it's one of those situations where she's basically telling you she feels like she can get something better. You may not want to see it that way, but that's what it is. And that's how I feel about it.
Irie,
Bucket.
I can. Well, I think I'll just hold on for doing for now. Although he has a list of topics, but Irie. So it's interesting because there's a big parallel between not just what I said, but what Don said and what you said. I but I don't know if it's just me, but wait, you gave the example of the Lamborghini, right? Um, Premier locking mechanism, you alone have access. Yeah, people can view what's external, but they don't have access to what's on the inside. Oh, I think doing is back.
Yeah.
But I still feel like it's not disrespect. Oh well, to me at least, like it's not disrespect if you know Dominic playing no role. To me, if you certain that Diamond can take your shorty dog, I feel like
Let me
I'm
rephrase it real quickly, because like, okay, so you know, niggas trying to get in actively. At the end of the day, let's say if you have a Lamborghini dog and all how you park that in town or somewhere, niggas that yanking your thing, dog, I'm pretty sure you'll be uncomfortable. Right? So even if fellas they have no role in it, yeah. But the problem is where if you see a woman is presenting herself to be, you know, presenting herself to have that type of attention. If Shorty is dressing up, making nicing up herself to go out to meet that person, okay, it's like, what kind of thing is that? If you're going out on a lunch or something, you can just put something on your fast and see what's going on. You're not wearing high heels and red dress and makeup and earring and whatever to talk to an old friend of yours. I mean, it's pretty obvious that there's more to it than just that.
And I check what you're saying with that, because I think I think Don was the one that said, you know, if you're dressing up and whatnot, and I agree with that, because you can't be giving the same effort. Like if I, as you check it, as your husband, boyfriend, whatever, as your partner, if you giving a next man the same kind of effort you giving me, that's blatant disrespect.
Yeah,
I understand that. I agree with that. But if it's just you check it, you come from work, I mean, that's it. To me, is the effort. Is the effort she puts into it. Like she just go and talk to that man for you check it, half an hour. She talk to the man and she leave. But doggy, you're not planning an exclusive date, a day of activities and all that. That's madness, dog.
Yeah, and you know another thing too. You know another thing too. If it becomes something where it's like routine, even if it's once a month for once, okay. Let me tell you, even if it's a moment over time becomes momentum. That's what happens. You check it. So if you meet up with that man, if you meet up with that man once, you see, you know, just check on that man, say, hey, catch up, whatever, and finish it at. Like, I'd have a problem with that, but if you want to see him all the time and you want to, dog, I'm not stupid.
Right.
I will just cheat on you and not tell you nothing. That's true, Mr. That's true. That's not true.
I feel for true. I feel the difference is when you take the inch and you go a mile. That is what makes the difference, dog. Like, cool out yourself. Check it. That man, you show up. You want to see the shorty. You give fellas an opportunity and they want to take it for a habit. Next time that man around the area, that man want to message you saying, shorty, oh, let's meet up again. Bro, that man tripping, man.
Okay.
Yeah, okay. And it's one of them things where it's like, all these things I will discuss with my partner. So I just saying what I have to say once and finish it. If shorty still feel like she want to go and she want to see him and she want to do this, she want to do that, okay. At that point, it's like it's pretty clear how she feels about you.
Just leave that shorty for that man, dog. It's obvious where she want to go, eh?
Just when she come back, have a shit outside and fly somewhere. Go to a club in Ibiza or something and meet a couple of shorties. Because in a relationship, it's like communication, commitment, and compromise. If your husband tell you, like, yeah, you can see him, whatever, but I don't feel like that is something that should be a routine. I feel disrespected If you decide you want to push the limit and still cross the line, that means you clearly do not respect me. So bad behavior needs to be punished. You understand? You can't let that slide. You check it? If Shorty knows that if Shorty knows if Shorty love you, if Shorty respect you, doggy, and you set boundaries, Shorty has a burning desire for you. That Shorty will know. And if you enforce your boundaries, that Shorty will be on her toes when she's speaking to you and making decisions. Especially in that situation, if you tell Shorty, yeah, that's fine, but please don't let it happen again. I don't appreciate it. That Shorty sometimes will not even want to meet that man in the first place. You check it? Sometimes Shorty know you can easily walk away and have infinite options. That Shorty will be more scared to lose you and want to please you rather than want to meet up with other niggas in the first place. But that's if she has a genuine desire for you, and you have to be in that position in life that Shorty will just feel your aura and know this nigga know what's up.
I have a question. Kim brought up an interesting point about punishment. So let me ask you like, how should something happens? Does I don't know how to phrase it up, but let me tell you.
You want to know how she would be punished?
It like both. I want to make it go both ways. So like something happens, like it's a reoccurring problem. How? Let me ask. Should it be punished, and how? Let me hear. I'm interested to hear I'll hear what Dora has to say, and then I'll let you go, Kim. Don't you hear the question?
So you're saying if like
it's a problem. It's
yeah.
Should it be should it be punished, and if yes, how should a punishment go about? Like how do you go about punishing that?
I feel like some people in general, like you tell them don't do that, and they just have that rebellious nature. It's like the more you tell them to do that, like they want to just do it just because you tell them not to do it. You have to be aware of these kind of things too. So you try and be a bit diplomatic with your displeasure. Tell them straight up. I really. You make your stand. You don't waver on your statement. You tell them, that's how I feel, and you notice it's being done again. You tell them, well, that thing is really affecting me, and what it's doing to you inside, and I really don't feel you should continue that. And if it's still being done again, you tell them, well, if you want to continue doing that, then such and such will happen. Whether it is like, if like you want to end a relationship, or you will have to decide on where I'll go from there. But
like separate.
Separate, or that will obviously be like the last resort. But you want to let them know like the seriousness of what they're doing. So you try and be as diplomatic as possible. But like if they insist on continuing, you have no choice. We just both go our ways.
Okay. All right. Go ahead, Kim.
Okay. Let me. So, what I have to say is this, yeah. if you in a position in your life where you have to be negotiating with your wife and asking her to please not do something because it hurts you, no way, you're in a danger. Do this, she could do that. Well, I know people who are in that situation currently, and you know what the wife do to them?
What's that?
Tell them no sex. And the fellas just have to, beg them, and I sorry, and I this and I that. If you in that position where you have to be negotiating with your woman to tell her to talk to her about your boundaries and explain to her why you want this and I don't want you doing that and this, that, and the other. Okay, you are at a dangerous position. Right. So what I would say, I don't know if it's because I don't know if I'm just different or whatever, or it's just my mentality. But for me, I tell you, baby, look, I keep it plain and simple. I don't want this happening, and this is the reason. If you continue, baby, do not do that again. I will not explain nothing. If you continue again, I'm not discussing anything with you. I'm just taking action. I'm just doing what I have to do. So if we know women love attention, they have some women that will just start arguments with fellas just to get their emotions riled up and just feel like they're just doing something. You understand? In those situations, you withdraw your attention. You quiet, you let her talk, you let her say what she have to say. You don't comfort her, you don't tell her it's okay, especially if she's rude and disrespectful. Sometimes you even have to walk away from her. You understand? But if it's one of those situations where you have to negotiate with her and you have to do this and you have to do that, and my brother, you're in trouble. So how do you punish somebody who doesn't, adhere, or who doesn't view, your point and is willing to compromise, or is disrespectful, or doesn't respect you, etc., etc.? The worst thing you can do is explain to them why you don't like it. A woman should be doing that. You understand? So what to do to punish? And that's the thing. You must love your wife. You must love your woman. Take care of her, care to her emotional needs and this, that, and the other. And whenever she misbehaves or whenever she crosses that boundary, especially on purpose, you just withdraw all of that away. The good morning, baby, the good morning sex in general. As fellas, you need to have control. Let me tell you something. You need to have control over your hormones, over your dick, over sex. You need to be able to say no and mean it. As a man, if you are able to tell a woman, I don't feel like having sex with you, there are some things that need to be changed before I can have sex with you. Okay, you are in a powerful position. Because look at it on the other hand, women that leverage sex against fellas.
Yeah, that does
You know what them
happen.
fellas doing? Begging them, please, baby, please, I don't want to do this, I don't want to, please. And it's like the woman is dangling her breast in front of the man's face, and the man can't do nothing. So if you as a man are in a position where you have control over your sexual nature, and you can hold out until that issue has been resolved, once it's resolved, then you can reinstill those certain, those certain aspects of the relationship. Then you can give her more attention when she's doing good things. If she's doing certain things in the house, you tell her, baby, you're doing good. You understand? You give her little hugs, little kisses. And, if you coming home from work, you tell her, baby, I've been thinking about you all day today. It's time when you come home, you have roses from the door to the bathroom and everything set up, the bubble bath, everything going. You check it. But once they misbehave, you just have to literally, all you have to do is be silent. Say absolutely nothing. If they threaten you, if they quarrel behind you, just sit there, let them talk, and say absolutely nothing. Give them no attention. And when they finish, you walk away. I can assure you, when the morning time comes, she will explain herself, and then you can resolve the issue logically when everyone is calm and you move forward. Because once you start quarreling with them and once you start negotiating with them, and you step out of frame and you give them the power.
Okay. I see. So all of this would take place like after. Does that okay? Okay.
And to be honest, as a guy, you should know your own boundaries. You should know, things that should not happen, things that should happen. And that's the important thing too. You don't get into a relationship with a woman that, yes, you have communication, but she doesn't have a level of understanding. So what therapy is basically trying to explain to the woman what he's trying to say. Whereas you can have a woman who is already comprehensive enough to understand what you're trying to say. It's important to have certain conversations with women prior to marriage to see their intellect and their level of competence. So in heated situations, in as much as the women are emotional beings, they are still able to at least apply a small level of logic or small level of understanding to see or to view where you're coming from, as opposed to just being selfish and believing that everything is just me, me, me. You understand? So honestly speaking, therapy, is an option, but I don't believe, you should put yourself in a position to be in a relationship with a woman that doesn't even comprehend or is innately intellectual enough to even understand what you're trying to say at times, because you would find yourself having to explain yourself day in and day out for every situation, and that's bothersome.
Okay.
I feel like, yeah, I understand what you're saying, and then that's very important. The two of you all have to be on the same wavelength. You have to have a certain, as two of you all have to have a certain level of intellectual capacity to, be able to discuss and understand certain things. But yeah, I still feel like there are certain points where therapy becomes, or counseling becomes necessary, because there could be something in one or both of y'all that you don't even realize that could be an underlying thing that allows you to think a certain way, or that you don't even realize. So maybe something that happened in your past that counseling or therapy could help you uncover, and then you can realize, oh, maybe that's why I act a certain way, or I think a certain way, or that's why my wife does certain things or reacts a certain way, and it can help the two of you all probably understand each other better, which would then get the communication dealt with better as well. So I take it that, yeah, you all have to have a certain level of understanding, but yeah, some certain things that are like extremely deep rooted, especially with a lot of people these days coming with baggage, or maybe abuse, or maybe certain parents not being around, or you never know what people went through in their life. And sometimes it takes some deep-rooted psychological therapy or counseling to help bring these things out, and to bring the person to a point where they can move on and grow out of these experiences when they come up.
Okay, I agree. Okay, guys. Uh, we're, okay, my bad. I had some feedback just now, but yeah. So it's an hour 30, so we could wrap up. We could wrap up around here. So I'll just shift to you guys' closing remarks and encouragement for the coming week. I'll start first. I'll start first. Um, Remember, guys, to always keep your head up. Remember to compare. Don't compare yourself to to other people. Um, Remember, you're at your own pace. Try to be better than who you were yesterday. That's my closing remarks and encouragement for the coming week. Who wants to go next?
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah. I'll say just try and keep a level head in whatever you do. Put God first, to help you and direct you in the right path. And keep communication open, keep things at a level where you can remain focused and you're not clouded by preconceived ideas and these kind of things. Know that you're not in a relationship with yourself, you're in a relationship with somebody else. So you have to make certain compromises and whatnot to make things work, but at the same time not compromising on your base values and whatnot. So get with somebody who understands you for you, understands that you're not perfect, and understands that the two of you all need to work together to find a resolution, and the two of you all are at a maturity level where you all can work together in the game together to work things out, and not some just willy-nilly people that whenever something arises they're ready to give up. If you're so, yeah.
Good point. Cam?
All I can say is, fellas, first you get the money, then you get the power, then you get some more money. If as a man, prepare yourself for marriage, but don't let it be your end goal. Because if you can see yourself living a successful life without a woman by your side, then you have a long, tough truth that will be shoved down your throat, and it's very uncomfortable. So just keep yourself focused on your grind, on your purpose, on your passion, but be open to relationships, be open to love, but don't chase it, let it come to you.
Okay. Well said. How about you, Asher?
I mean, what can I say that hasn't already been said? One word of advice I can give to everybody listening is that make sure when you change your name in Turkey that you also change your name on your BRZ ownership form. It's very important, because if your name is Bob now and you want to go over to Turkey, there go Loud Jeff to drive them on BRZ. So be wise, make sure that your BRZ stays safe.
Okay. Well said. With that said, guys, have a wonderful evening, and be sure to tune into the boxing match that's going on right now. Alright, everyone, good night.
Used to be involved with me with no emotion. I was on the way to the next show. You was on the phone and you was so open. Heard you said you're over me, is that so? You don't ever felt a girl and that's so okay. Could've held on, but you let it go. Saying to yourself that it's better this way. Funny thing is that you're going to